Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, we have to talk about Jeff Wittek. I've talked about Jeff Wittek a few times on this channel. I'm talking kind of fast. I'm a little heated, so let me slow it down, sister. I've talked about Jeff Wittek a few times on this channel. I've talked about him mainly in regards to his connection with David Dobrik, the accident involving the excavator injuries and stuff that he suffered because of that. And honestly, I was on Jeff Wittek's side in that whole thing. I am not a fan of David Dobrik and all of that, but just because I am in support of Jeff Wittek with this whole situation with David Dobrik does not necessarily mean I have to be completely aligned with every single thing Jeff Wittek does, and that is what this video is about. Jeff Wittek went on his podcast. He posted a podcast onto his channel where he is making fun of and roasting with his whole gang of cronies people on the autistic spectrum. And I think it's disgusting. I want to talk about it. If you're interested in hearing more about that drama, make sure that you keep on watching. Okay, Mr. Kitty, so Mr. Kitty and Miss have been loving Sebastian Soto's channel lately. So if you guys are not subscribed to Sebastian Soto, first of all, how did you find me if you don't know who Sebastian is? Sebastian Soto is another drama channel on this platform. He's so sweet. I've interacted with him on Instagram and just like in DMs a few times, and he's such a sweet person. My friend Chime Philly, who you guys know, he went to LA and he had the chance to meet Sebastian, and like all he said was like, Shelby, Sebastian is like the male version of you. You guys would get along so well. Like you have like a very similar kind-hearted spirit. You just like think the same way about a lot of things, and he just thinks that we would get along so well. I kind of think that too. Like I love his videos. I loved them for a long time. And anyway, Mr. and Miss Kitty, they were watching Sebastian's videos. They said, Mom, you have to check this video out. It's about Jeff Wittek. Jeff Wittek has been really offensive towards the autistic community, towards people with autism or on the autistic spectrum.
I did look up to see if I was on the spectrum because I was worried a little bit. I repeat stuff. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit awkward, but that's me doing a character. Now for you, everybody tells you to break character, but even when you break character, it's not always a...
Do you think I'm in character right now, be honest?
I think you're an exaggerated version of yourself, which is
right
already a very... No, I think when you do your characters, it's an exaggerated version of yourself. You play into what talents you were given naturally, which, yeah, I think autism... Was that what Kanye says? Autism is a superpower, or bipolar is a superpower. And we'll all find out if ourselves, our family, and friends are on the spectrum. And if you are, there's nothing wrong with it. Elon Musk is on the spectrum. He has autism, and he's a goddamn genius, richest man in the world. So I'm kind of hoping that I get a high score here. And you, my friend, I am confident that you are going to get a very high score here. What they lack in that area, they back up in other areas. Are you okay?
Why are you laughing, bro?
We have to redo that. I'm so serious. That was fucked up.
He's laughing at autism people.
No, bro, because
I think it's okay. Let's just take the test and we'll decide if we can cut it after, because it's like, yeah. Have you ever thought about this? Did you ever do anything
Steven,
in school?
Did you take normal classes in high school?
Yeah.
Or did you wear like a headset and have an iPad?
To be honest,
You did.
went to a special high school.
You had the short bus?
Did you really?
God,
No, the short bus.
Oh, you
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
I went to a stinky high school with like
a
50
continuation?
kids. It's called Fairlead Academy, and it was not my normal high school. It's for bad kids.
Did you
The
ever
kids
get?
are failing?
Did you ever get diagnosed with autism? Now I have a cousin.
I can't believe it just
my
opened up
first
like
cousin. I'm gonna be the most autistic one, and I'm gonna be pissed. Not a
Why?
good camera for vlogging. It's the worst, actually. The ADD is perfect. It has 3 mics on it. It has a mic behind it, in front of it, and then one that gets the whole room. It's a perfect vlogging camera. And if you would have asked us, we had an extra one here, we would have gave it to you.
You do not have a G7X.
No, oh my God.
You dumb fuck. You dumb autistic fuck. We don't even have to take this fucking question. That's
we're
gonna get clipped out.
describing to you
I meant that only.
that a
you have to
Canon
play that clip in
ADD
context. The whole
was
thing.
a good-
You were probably not autistic, but I do have. I mean, I did get 10. So
Damn.
what?
Oh, fuck, I just read mine.
What are you?
I'm 13.
That's not
Wait,
terrible.
hold on,
Slight
listen.
tendencies.
It says you
Perfect.
show autistic traits slightly above the population average.
Oscar,
no.
you better not be retaking your test back there.
I'm not.
What
Has
happened?
Slightly more common
Are you
traits.
15, Oscar?
Steven, go first.
What?
I knew it. I knew it.
Oscar's more autistic than me.
What's your score, Steven?
Steven, read it. Read your phone. Read your phone.
Let me see.
Don't lie. Actually read it. Is it 20?
17.
17?
He is borderline, baby. We got
right.
borderline indication.
Me
Yes.
and Steven are the same.
Oh, we are.
Oscar 17? Oh my god, you guys are more autistic than me.
I don't know if I should be happy or if I should feel like I'm doing a terrible job running a business here. Why the fuck are all my employees
No,
autistic?
autistic people are the most creative.
Yeah, they're smart.
Haha, y'all aren't
I
creative.
agree.
Me and
I
Oscar
agree.
No,
are.
I have 13, he has 10. Okay, alright, whatever. I want to be autistic now.
All right, today.
So Jeff Wittek decided to test all of his employees that worked for him or the people that did his podcast with him. He decided to test them for autism, which in itself is, I don't think necessarily the worst thing. I think it's a little bit of a strange thing. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't know, like, I've never heard of a company or a business or a business owner or a boss or something saying, hey guys, I'm gonna round you all up and test you for autism. Like, I've never heard of that. So I think that this was supposed to be just like a gag for the show, but I think it really, really missed the mark. And I think it's really kind of disgusting and gross. Mini story time. Actually, it's a total coincidence I'm wearing this shirt, you guys, I promise. I was sitting down in the living room watching this video, and I was about to go to the gym and like work out and do stuff, and this is one of my workout shirts, but coincidentally, it's a Mod Pizza t-shirt. So you guys, Mod Pizza has been blowing up lately. I used to be a general manager for Mod Pizza, and I hated the experience, to be honest with you. They really screwed me over in the end. But what I will say is that during my time working for Mod Pizza, one of the things that they do is they employ a lot of people with disabilities on the autistic spectrum, with Down syndrome. They employ a lot of people with disabilities to their restaurants, and I had the pleasure of being able to interact with a lot of people on the autistic spectrum at that restaurant, and it gives me a little bit of a better insight into the lives of these people and the challenges they go through and just all of that. And I will tell you that a lot of these people are just really amazing people, and it's something that you can't just like wake up one day and say, hey, I'm not going to be autistic anymore, I'm not going to be on this spectrum anymore. It's not a curable thing. And so for somebody to clown and mock and joke about people having autism on their podcast, and for people to be making like really insensitive hand gestures and jokes and just like stupid, it's really, really awful. It's disgusting, and you look like a disgusting bully. Like what is that? What goes through your mind when you're like thinking, you're like, I'm gonna use this as my little notepad where I'm jotting down ideas. It's a blush palette, but Lunar Beauty blush palette. But what sparks you in a makeup brush is my pen to be like, ideas for the podcast. Make fun of autistic people. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Who does that? It's disgusting bully behavior. Like, how old are we? And even, like, I think that now, even in, like, 2022, even young people aren't joking like that. So what the actual fuck is wrong with you, dude? Jeff Wittek, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? From the start of the conception of this idea, down to filming the whole thing, to sitting down and editing this video and making the cognizant choice to put all of this stuff in a video. What the actual fuck is wrong with you, my guy? Like, it's just like incredibly insensitive, incredibly like tone deaf to the over 200,000 more additional cases of autism that we have in the United States alone in a year. Like, what is wrong with you? It's just not funny, dude. It's not funny. The people that live with autism and that are on the autistic spectrum, they face challenges every single day just trying to, like, they have that show, you know, that Sebastian was talking about, his video, The Love on the Spectrum. I've never seen it, but that's about them trying to find love, and then just like trying to make it in society and form, you know, relationships, because it's a condition that you cannot stop, and it's a social thing, and sometimes it impacts your ways to, like, your intellectual abilities and social abilities and all this stuff. And it's just, why would you make fun of somebody who was born that way and can't change it? Why? It's just so insensitive. I'm so, like, to all the people, and it wouldn't be a ShelbyE video if I got, like, so emotional and so passionate about something I didn't tear up. This is silly for me to tear up about this. I'm not close to anybody with autism. I'm not. I just am someone who, like, I'm just thinking right now, I'm putting myself in the position to think about people that are on the spectrum, that were fans of Jeff Wittek, that were exposed to this kind of bullying and, like, torture on his podcast. And I'm just like, wow, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm so sorry that if you were a fan of Jeff Wittek and you're on the spectrum, that you had to witness him mocking people with your condition. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Like, it's just honestly disgusting. And, you know, then at a point, the one guy, I don't know his name, he's irrelevant, but he's on Jeff Wittek's podcast. He was making fun of, like, doing really rude hand gestures that I'm not going to do on my channel, that were also kind of like making fun of people with Down syndrome. And that one is really, really offensive and really, really rude and just not okay, dude. Like, that one hits a little bit closer to me, because also, so for those who don't know, I managed restaurants for 6 years. The mock pizza journey was very short, and I came in brief contact with a lot of people on the autistic spectrum. But when I was a manager for Chili's, I actually employed a girl who had Down syndrome, and she came in every day, well, Monday through Friday. She came in every morning, and she rolled silverware for us. So we'd have silverware for the shift, and she was the sweetest thing, and I learned a lot about how to interact with people and what people that have Down syndrome need. And one of the main things that kind of sticks out to me and that I remember is the need for routine, and how I had to ensure that every morning when I knew she was going to be there at 9 a.m. that I had her bucket of her silverware out there separated for her, the little bags they put the silverware in, and like everything that she needed, I had to ensure that it was ready for her. And then, like clockwork, every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. or 9:01, 9:02, whenever she would walk in the building and make her way to the office door, she would knock 3 times. And then I would look back and be like, oh, hey, Katie, how are you? And then I would go, show her silverware and be like, here you go, here's your buckets to put it in when you're done. And then she would just sit out there and work. And she was really good. She was very good at what she did. She just required that routine. And if for some reason, like, say I got there and things were like a little bit crazy in the morning, or like something was going on, I was on a phone call or just doing something else, that one of the many things that can happen as a manager in a restaurant when you're setting up in the morning, like if something wasn't on routine, it would kind of like mess her up a little bit, and it would kind of like be a thing where it'd be hard to kind of get it on schedule or whatever. And she would also sometimes get a little bit frustrated if things weren't on the exact routine that she was used to. And so you just kind of learn to like, hey, make sure that this is all good. And I'm going off the rails a little bit here, but that was just incredibly offensive, like, because it's just a stupid joke that isn't funny. The whole podcast from beginning to end, and that, I think the part that really, really pisses me off about this whole situation is that, guys, you have to think of it from a YouTuber's perspective. And I always say this about stuff like this. When people do really crappy, shitty things, I say to myself, you have to think of it from a YouTuber's perspective. Okay? The concept for this podcast was not done out of the blue. I don't care what they'll try to say or what they'll try to do. When you are going to film a podcast that millions of people are going to watch, you're going to create a concept for the episode. You're going to plan everything out, have the materials ready, all the stuff. Then you're going to film it and do all your things for it, whatever the content or the theme of the show is. And then after that's filmed, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna edit it, you're gonna review it and make sure everything's good to go. Then you're gonna upload it to YouTube and you're gonna post it for all your millions of people to see. So there's really no way to wiggle yourself out of this one, dude. There's really no way for Jeff Wittek to wiggle himself out of this one, because from the conception of the idea of this extremely in poor taste podcast that Jeff Wittek put out, making fun of autistic people and testing all of his employees to see if they're on the autistic spectrum, to posting it for everybody to see, from the beginning to the end, it was all done in extremely poor taste with countless chances to be like, hey, that's probably not the best idea. This is probably kind of insensitive. I'm gonna go fuck myself now and change the concept of the video before I get myself canceled. You know, there's not many things that people deserve to have like people like backlash for or whatever, but this is something that deserves a lot of backlash. It does deserve a lot of backlash, and I really hope that Jeff Wittek gets it. I hope that Jeff Wittek gets the backlash, because there's a difference between someone like saying something that they didn't intend to come off as insensitive because it's kind of teetering on the fence or whatever, and then something like this that is clearly offensive. Your cronies are like, you know, doing stupid hand gestures and making like stupid jokes for like such a long time. Like, it was intentional, dude. And I wonder what the motivation was to post that. Was the motivation to make all of the people that watch your channel that have autism or that are on the autistic spectrum, was the intention, Jeff Wittek, to make them see that and to put them through that pain and suffering, to know that one of the people that they're a huge fan of on YouTube is a huge bully and doesn't like people like them? Was that your intention? What was the intention behind this? I don't get it. I don't get it. There's not many things on the internet that really truly do piss me off and that really truly do make me super upset, because a lot of the stupid stuff these influencers do, I'm just like, girl, y'all are so stupid. You're clearly doing it for attention or whatever. But this one's just really crappy and really insensitive and stupid. And it kind of almost like, I don't want to say that it makes me feel a little less bad for him and what happened with David, because that's not true. Like, I do feel sorry for what happened with him and the whole David Dobrik situation with the excavator and him getting his, you know, his eye injured and all of that. Like, I don't want to say it makes me feel less bad for him, but now I'm kind of understanding like why you ever hung out with David Dobrik to begin with, because David Dobrik would totally be behind something like doing something like this. David Dobrik is, you know, a horrible guy. But this podcast you just posted, Jeff, makes you look just as bad as David Dobrik does. It kind of connects the dots as to why you guys were such good friends to begin with in the beginning. And that's an insult. That is straight up an insult to you. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about all of this stuff with Jeff Wittek and this crazy podcast making fun of people with autism. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. I'm still aggressive. I'm gonna calm down, bro. Hello. Let me know what you think about that. I'd love to hear from you. And that's gonna be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. You guys, I am almost to 5,000 subscribers on my channel, and I would really love to get there before the summertime ends. So please, if you enjoyed today's video, give me a little subscribe. I would so appreciate it. I love all of my Shelby Bells so much, you guys know. And don't forget that all Shelby Bells ring the bell. If you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple videos down here for you to choose from, so I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.